morning. So today I get to make a video that I've been wanting to make for a while. Today is August 7th, 2024, and I'm going to talk about my current camera collection. I'm going to talk about all the cameras that I currently own or have in my possession at this point in time. I'm going to break it down into two different groups, digital and film. Those that are new to the channel, thank you for watching. Let me introduce myself. My name is Kyron Crump with KK Crump Photography. Some might know me as Panda with IShotWithPanda. And this is my new YouTube channel, which is not new, but I'm just giving it another shot. I make videos about cameras, my life, and whatever inspires me at the time. So let's talk about these cameras that I currently own. I'm going to start this video off with my Nikon D750. This, with the kit lens on it, 1855. This is the first camera that I ever brought. This is the camera that started me in the photography. I did not realize I still owned it. I thought I sold it a long time ago, but I absolutely love this camera. It means a lot to me because it was the camera that started me on this journey, and I learned a lot from it. I think I might have been shooting with it for maybe a year or so before I upgraded to the D7200, which I don't have anymore. But once I went full frame, I went to the Nikon D750 with the battery grip. Now, the Nikon D750 was my workhorse. Like I'm Nikon through and through. I use the D750 for everything I did, and I still use it to this day. I don't use it as much, but from time to time, I will pull the 750 out because I love the color. I just know it so well because I've been using it for so long, and just all around great camera. I usually pair it with this 50mm or a 70-200. For a little while, I had the 24-70, but it stopped working. But still, I love the 750. Let me take a minute to shout out my Sony A7400, which I'm currently filming on. That's why you won't see any B-roll or that camera in this video, because I'm filming on it. I have owned the 6400 for about as long as I've owned the Nikons. Before the A6400, I did have an A6000, which I actually love that camera as well. But I do most of my video work on my Sony. My wife actually owns a Sony EV1 or EV10, which she films on, and it's a pretty good camera too. But those are the Sony cameras. My current workhorse camera that I shoot with the most is my Fujifilm XT5. I absolutely love this camera so far. I picked up Fujifilm because I wanted to shoot more monochromatic, and when I started researching monochromatic cameras, it took me to a Leica. The Leica was very, very expensive, and then from there it took me to Fujifilm because of their presets and their film simulations that they have already built into the camera. I shoot primarily black and white in camera, even though I shoot RAW, so I still can make it color if I need to. But before I had the XT5, I started with the XE2, which those that already been subscribed to my channel or follow me have seen me make a video on this camera about, is the XE2 still good today? And I think it is. This camera is the reason that I brought the XT5. I brought the XT5 because I love this camera so much, but I do see a difference in the advancement of the autofocus and just ease of use with the XT5. It is kind of hard to switch back to this camera sometimes, but I still like to shoot with this camera from time to time. The Fujifilm XT5 and the Fujifilm XE2 are my Fujifilm cameras at the moment. Continuing with digital cameras, I also own a GoPro Hero 8, which currently doesn't work. It works when it want to work. recorded a couple videos on this, took it on vacation to Jamaica, went in the ocean, and that was all she wrote. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I can't rely on it, so I don't know. Still in the process of trying to find a smaller compact camera. I think we're going to go with the DJI Omni Pocket 3. That might be the next camera that we try to try and make sure see how we like it. So, but I owned a Hero 8. It was okay when it worked, but I don't think it worked very long, or I didn't record a lot on it. That's neither here nor there. Also, my last digital camera is the CSnap. This was an Instagram impulse buy, which I also made a video on this camera. It is a digital camera, but it feels like film. If you own one, it feels like a disposable camera. It feels like a toy in your hand, but it is good to just click and go. I mean, honestly, you don't have anything you can control up here except for it has an LED flash, which is basically a light that comes on. It has a number counter, and it has a lens. That's about it. Lens does not come off, but it does give you the film feel when you look at the images on video. You just plug it right into your computer. You can pull it off the files, and it kind of look like film, but it's not. So that is my last digital camera, but it's a good last digital camera to end on because it gives you the film feeling. We can talk about my film cameras next, and I got a couple of them. Let's talk about it. Jumping right in with film, I'm going to first talk about my Nikon EM. I just wanted to test film out and see if I would like it, kind of get back to the roots of photography. So the Nikon EM was my first purchase. I bought it mainly because it was cheap, and I didn't know a lot about cameras, or film cameras. But I knew I was a Nikon person because I started with Nikon. I had lenses that would work. So from there, after actually doing some research, I picked up, well, let's do this in order. So from there, I picked up a Kodak M38 from, I think, Walmart. And I picked this up because I wasn't happy with the images I got back from Nikon EM, and I want to just test film a little more. So this camera is really, really cheap. It feels like a disposable camera. Got it really, really cheap. Put a couple of rows to it. Still didn't like it, so I didn't use this a lot. I probably won't use this anymore. We'll see. But once I started doing research into film cameras, I ran across the Nikon FM2, which is a little bit better than the EM, but in my opinion, it's a lot better than EM. I actually love this camera. I've shot probably 5 rolls to it so far. The first 3 rolls I got back, I made a video on, and I shared it with y'all. And I actually enjoyed this camera quite a bit. In my quest to learn film and understand a little bit more about it, I came across a film format called 110. So I was in my local bookstore and I wanted to pick up a 110 camera. So I came across this Keystone XR308, which has a flash. It's kind of like, gives you 90s feel. And so far I put 1 roll through it so far. I haven't got it developed. So once I get that roll developed, I will make a video and let you know how I feel about this camera. But I don't think I'll be shooting this camera a lot. I mainly just got it because I wanted to experiment with cameras, and it was only $10 at the bookstore. So I was like, what's the worst that can happen? Spend $10 on the camera. I think it was $15 for the film, and it's $19 to get it developed. I mean, film is expensive, we know, but it feels good. It feeds the soul a little bit when it comes to art and what I'm learning and how I'm going about this film journey. And my last two cameras in my camera collection, my film journey, are Polaroids. I have a Polaroid One Step, which doesn't work. I brought it from a thrift shop for the nostalgic feel of Polaroid. Had one of these growing up as a kid, absolutely loved it. Actually, I don't think I ever tested this camera to actually see if it worked or not. I think I'm gonna get some film, put some film through it, see if it works. I'll do that at a later date. But I had one of these as a kid. It was one of the things that I actually loved about photography was the Polaroid. So I had the Polaroid One Step 600 film. But I also picked up the Polaroid Now. I picked up the Polaroid Now just for the same reason I picked up the other camera, because I wanted to feel that nostalgia of Polaroid. And I actually have put film through this, made a couple of images, and I love it. So that is my current film collection. You've seen 12 in the video, 6 film and 6 digital. I'm also shooting on my 13th camera, which is my Sony A7400. And that is all my cameras that I currently own. My go-to is the Fujifilm at this current time, but I still use Nikon for film and digital. And I carry my CSnap with me almost every day. I do got a couple of more cameras on my wish list. I will say my first camera that's on my wish list is the DJI Omni 3, because I do want to take this YouTube thing a little bit more serious and a little bit more consistent with it. So the Omni 3 will help with the vlogs and actually having a video camera to record behind the scenes footage, and it's a little easier to carry than having my A7400 and the whole build out with me everywhere I go. So that's one. I also want to jump into medium format soon. Well, not soon. At some point, I want to jump to medium format, film and digital. So I was looking at the Fujifilm medium format, so they're a little costly. At some point, I might get one of those. And as far as film goes, I have no idea where I want to start with that 120 film. So if anybody have any suggestions, please let me know what you think is the easiest medium format film camera to use, and which one I get the best bang for my buck with, because I don't want to spend a lot of money because film is already expensive. But I'm still going to take my time with it, shoot more this 35, shoot more with this with this FM2. And please forgive me, all these cameras have initials and numbers, and sometimes it's hard to remember which camera I want to talk about, which camera I got in mind. I got an FM, an EM, an XR, A7400, XT5, XE. It's too much to keep up with. But if you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. Come back to the channel. I will be dropping more content. I got a couple more videos in mind. I'm really enjoying talking to friends in this camera. So we can see what we can do. That is my current 2024 camera collection. I know it's not a lot. It's more than I thought it was. But once I realized how many cameras I actually had, I said, let me document this. So in another 2-3 years, maybe 5, I can document it again and see how many cameras I have at that point. Because I don't really like selling cameras, even though I sold a couple. But I don't really like selling them. We'll see what happens. Thank you for watching. Peace.